Managing a business is complex. It involves making decisions on multiple parameters that are intertwined, and the results are never guaranteed because your competitors are also making decisions on these parameters, which will impact the market dynamics and therefore your results. The goal of a business is to stay in the game, and hopefully, some of your competitors will go out of the market due to their poor decisions. You will discover that the performance of your business is impacted by the decisions that you make on many parameters concerning the business. These parameters are interrelated and impact each other, and you must set the numbers to these parameters based on your business strategy to stay competitive. What are business operations? Business operations refer to activities that a business engages in on a daily basis to increase the value of the enterprise. These activities can be optimized to generate sufficient revenues to cover expenses and earn a profit. The jobs of the managers performing various functions in the enterprise are to help increase the value of the enterprise. Let's assume a typical business that manufactures a product, such as a thumb drive, and sells the product to consumers in a big territory that may be divided into a certain number of sales regions. The typical functional departments of such a business would conceivably be the planning department, sales department, finance department, purchasing department, production department. Each of these departments will typically be managed by a manager who will make decisions on a daily basis to try adding value to the enterprise. These managers will report to a general manager who will have the overall responsibility of the enterprise and the authority to change the decisions made by these managers to make the final decisions. It would be obvious to you by now that in the management of the business operations, managers across many departments in the organization must make decisions together as a team to help the company succeed. Let's try to understand decision making. Decision making is a process. It is a continuous and indispensable component of managing business operations. Decisions are made to sustain the activities in business operations to keep the organization functioning. Decisions are made at every level of management to ensure business and organizational goals are achieved. Decision-making in business is important because there are consequences to making the wrong decision. It is important that they weigh their options because poor choices can result in failure of the business. Now, let's explore what is business intelligence and how it relates to decision-making. Business intelligence combines business analytics, data mining, data visualization, data tools and infrastructure, and best practices to help organizations make more data-driven decisions. In practice, you know you have got modern business intelligence when you have a comprehensive view of your organization's data and use that data to drive change, eliminate inefficiencies, and quickly adapt to market changes. Business intelligence can help companies make better decisions by showing present and historical data within their business context. Managers can leverage business intelligence to provide benchmarks of performance among competitors to make the organization run more efficiently. Managers can also spot market trends more easily to increase sales or revenue. Business intelligence can help companies make smarter, data-driven decisions in the following activities: identify ways to increase profit, analyze customer behavior, compare data with competitors, track performance, optimize operations, predict success, spot market trends, and discover issues or problems. In the simplest terms, business intelligence is data visualization, just like you can make some charts in Excel to show the results of the data. Of course, business intelligence can do more things. For example, multiple important indicators or charts can be put together to construct a dashboard so that various trends can be seen at a glance. And users can also use different filters to analyze the data. By looking at the data at different levels, for example, from country to region to city or individually, users can understand the situation more fully. By looking at the changes of each indicator from multiple angles, users can better understand the effects and causes. Now, let's consider the impact of business intelligence on decision making. The ultimate goal of business intelligence is data-driven decision making. By understanding the current status through the existing data and by forecasting the future based on the existing data, business managers can make data-oriented decisions about the results. Few companies will reach this level of completely data-led decisions. After all, the authenticity and credibility of market data are not always assured, and not many companies have the capability to acquire all of the market data. At the end, human experience and judgment must play a decisive factor in making the choices in business operations. But there is no doubt that data analysis can assist the managers in making good decisions. All said and done, a business could either prosper or just survive or fail completely in the face of competitions. Good business decisions made by the managers will determine the outcome. Now, let's consider the measurement of performance. How can we tell if a company is prospering or just surviving or is failing completely as an outcome? Clearly, the answer to that is to look at the company's performance. Performance is demonstrated by the outcomes of the company's business. The outcomes must be measured against the company's business objectives. If the company is not meeting its business objectives, the outcome is negative. If the company is meeting or even exceeds its business objectives, the outcome is positive. Business objectives are targets of outcomes that are used to measure the performance of the business. Business objectives are simply end goals that the company wants to reach. Setting these benchmarks helps to motivate and understand what is necessary to drive results. Countless objectives exist, but What are the important and immediate business objectives in the management of business operations that a typical business should focus on? For the management of the day-to-day business operations of most businesses, there are 5 very important business objectives, be it a retail business or a manufacturing business or some other businesses. They can be represented by the acronym SIREN, SIREN. They are share, inventory, revenue, expenses, and net profits. Let us look at these 5 objectives one by one. The first of the 5 SIREN objectives is share. Share refers to market share. Market share is used to give an idea of how large the business is within its particular sector. Market share of a product or a service is calculated by taking the total sales and dividing it by the total sales of the entire sector or market for this particular product or service. Market share is a key indicator of market competitiveness. It enables managers to judge total market growth or market decline, identify key trends in consumer behavior, and see their market potential and market opportunities. Market share increases can allow a company to achieve greater scale with its operations and improve profitability. A company can try to expand its share of the market either by lowering prices, using advertising, or introducing new or different products. In addition, it can also grow the size of its market share by appealing to other audiences or demographics. The second of the 5 SIREN objectives is inventory. Inventory is an accounting term that refers to goods that are in various stages of being made, ready to be sold to end customers. These include finished goods that are available to be sold, work in progress, meaning in the process of being made, and raw materials to be used to produce finished goods. Inventory is generally the largest current assets a company has. Why is inventory important? Zero finished product inventory means there is nothing in stock to be sold, and zero raw material inventory means there is nothing in stock to be used for making products. This cannot be good. It means market potentials cannot be captured, opportunities are wasted. However, too big an inventory cannot be good either. It means there is too much stock not sold or too much stock of raw materials not used. The large inventory of finished goods not sold and the large inventory of raw materials not used are committing capitals which could be better used for other activities to improve business, such as equipment maintenance for better efficiency, research and development for better products, and marketing for branding and image. An important characteristic of inventory is that it must be maintained at an optimal level by periodical replenishment. The third of the 5 SIREN objectives is revenue. Revenue is the total amount of income generated by the sales of goods or services. A high market share leads to a high volume of sales and naturally leads to a high level of revenue. This is obvious. However, what is not obvious is whether it is a good thing. With a high market share and high revenue, the business could still be making huge losses because the product is sold at a very low price. In other words, Setting a low price to secure high market share, high volume of sales, and high revenue could result in a revenue that cannot cover the costs of doing business. Therefore, a high or low level of revenue cannot be judged as good or bad without considering the next two of the 5 SIREN objectives. The fourth of the 5 SIREN objectives is expenses. Expenses are the costs of operations that a company incurs to generate revenue. As the popular saying goes, it costs money to make money. There are two main categories of business expenses in accounting: operating expenses and non-operating expenses. One of the main goals of any business is to maximize profit. This is achieved by boosting revenues while keeping expenses in check. Slashing costs can help the business make more money from sales. However, if expenses are cut too much, it could also have a detrimental effect. Advertising, investment in production equipment, maintenance of inventory are expenses that cannot be cut too much. For example, it costs money to make money. The last of the 5 SIREN objectives is net profit. Net profit is also called net income. Net income reflects the total residual income that remains after accounting for all cash flows, both positive and negative. In other words, from revenue, which is called the top line number, all expenses and costs are deducted to arrive at net income. It should be obvious to you by now that the management of business operations involve setting business objectives, making decisions in the activities that help achieve these objectives, and then measuring the outcomes of the business against these objectives to check if the business is competitive and alive or otherwise. Now, let's consider the measurement of the SIREN objectives. The manager, individually and solely accountable to a specific business activity, must first of all find out how the business is performing in order to improve it. That means the manager must measure how well the activity has been carried out in the achievement of the SIREN objectives. To do that, the manager collects data on the key performance indicators, compare the actual performance against the SIREN business objectives. The manager must analyze the data collected to determine what was done right, resulting in certain business objectives being met, and what was done wrong, resulting in certain business objectives being missed, and what should be done for the next business period to make corrections so as to meet business objectives. Measurement of the SIREN objectives is done month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year. By now, it should be obvious to you that a very important idea in the management of business operations is management by objectives. All business operations must be managed with the aim to achieve business objectives through the execution of a plan, which is called the business plan. As the saying goes, no one plans to fail in the business, but the business fails because there is no plan. A plan can be a strategic plan, a tactical plan, or an operations plan. In other words, business plans are formulated at 3 different management levels. An operations plan is a low management level plan that supports the tactical plan, which is a mid management level plan, and it supports the strategic plan, which is a high management level plan. What are the differences among strategic, tactical, and operations plans? A strategic plan is a business plan created by an executive management team which has a much wider scope than a tactical or operations plan. It is a plan that outlines the ambitions, future goals, and mission of an organization. Strategic plans may focus on the high-level and long-term goals that the company will work to achieve over the next 3 to 5 years. A tactical plan is created by mid-level management professionals and includes the specific actions that the company must take to work toward the goals described in the strategic plan. Tactical plans outline how a certain area or department of a business will support the strategic plan over the next 1 to 3 years. A tactical plan will include more specific ideas and actions, but may not be in a lot of details. An operations plan focuses on specific departments and their roles in achieving short-term goals. A specific department, for example, the sales department, may create an operations plan for the sales team to implement the processes needed to achieve the sales goals outlined. When team members are involved in creating the plan, they are often more likely to work together to accomplish the necessary tasks. It would seem obvious to you by now that a company must continue to improve its business operations to stay ahead of its competitions and stay alive. If it fails to do that, it will go out of business. Now, let's consider what a manager must do to improve business operations. Management of business operations is all about creating an operations plan through strategic planning and forecasting, analyzing market opportunities and trends within the business, making decisions on the parameters involved in the plan, measuring the performance through monitoring benchmarks and performance data, and identifying and tracking key performance indicators critical to the health of the business, identifying issues and problems that prevent business objectives from being met, making new decisions on the parameters to make sure business objectives are met. Alignment is key to running any business efficiently. Managing business operations essentially means creating alignment across all departments in order to have predictable and systematic growth of the business.